Okay guys, in this tutorial I'm going to explain to you Azure DevOps Starter. I will show you how you can use Azure DevOps CI/CD and create continuous integration and continuous deployment through Microsoft Azure. And I suppose that you have already your Azure account once you logged into your Azure portal and search if you search in the search bar if you type DevOps, uh, it will bring, for example, DevOps Starter. If you click on the DevOps Starter, and if you had already some projects dedicated that show here, and I will create a new project for you guys. I will click new here, and okay, here it will ask that what languages or framework we want to use for our project. So .NET, Node.js, PHP, Java, whatever. So these are the currently the supported languages here. So I will select .NET as my development application, or my application is based on the .NET. So I will select the .NET here and select next. Here it gives us to choose whether it's ASP.NET application or with the .NET framework, or it's ASP.NET core application. Let's say my application is .NET Core. Then you click next. Okay, here, yeah, if you want to configure your application with the Kubernetes services, and or your applications just web application, Windows application, or it's based on the Linux web app or web containers, I will say okay, it's just Windows web app. Then click next. Then it will ask that Azure needs permission to access your GitHub. So I will give him, click authorize. I had already connected to my GitHub account. So I will, here I can give a name for the repository. For example, I will give this one mg service net core. Okay, here you can pick the subscription you have. I have the Visual Studio subscription, and then the web app name we created here, and this will be the domain of your app. So location, you can choose the which location is appropriate to your region, and then you click review and create. Okay, here you can see the deployment is in progress, and we will wait for the deployment to complete. Okay, once the deployment is complete, you can click on Go to Resources. Here you can, if you click again, it asks for Azure to access your GitHub. I will click Authorize, and again Authorize. It shows here the workflow it's running and the build. So if you click on the workflow, for example, here, and it shows the process which is running, and the build process is just running. If you click on that one, also on the build process, you can see the tasks which are currently running and it's deploying those stuff. So, I mean, if you expand each step, you can see all the details, the deployment, the installation, and deployment. This is okay. I think the build is complete. Now it is deploying. So I will see the deployment is in progress. And you can come to the summary page if you want to see it. Shows still it's in deployment. The build is completed. That's check mark. So here you can read the logs. Okay, let's see. Deploying ARM template. ARM template is Azure Resource Management template. It's for deployment of Azure resources. You can configure your own template and all the resources you need to configure or deploy on the Azure, you set up in the ARM template. So deployment's in progress. You will wait once deployment is completed. Okay, deploy ARM template is completed, and now it's deploying the web app. So okay, the deployment is completed. Now it will do the functional testing. If we come here, the functional test, it shows the functional test jobs is starting. If you come on the summary page, you can see that build is complete, deploy is complete. Now it's the functional test is running. Once this is passed, this process will be completed. And let's see if the detail of our functional test. Okay, once we'll come back in this one. Once you connect from your Azure DevOps starter, once you create the project and you authenticate your GitHub, it will create this is the repository we created. And oops, if I go to the repositories, so this is the new repository that we just created through the Azure DevOps starter. And here in the repository, you can see that the files which are created here, and under the GitHub you have the DevOps starter workflow.yaml file. Here you can see the YAML file as created for running the server and the services which required to be deployed. And this is the application, like this is sample application, ASP.NET Core sample application. And here is the ARM template which is created. As I said before, that the ARM template is that you create here this JSON file contains all the services resources you need to configure on the Azure. So if we come back, okay, functional test is still running, and okay, functional test is also completed. So okay, once the deployment of our application is completed, if we come here, and then here is the endpoint for our application. If we click on the link, or you can click browse from here, so it's deployed our application on the Azure, and it's the simple ASP.NET application it's a template default provided by the Azure. Okay, this is done. Now if you come to your repository uh, as a starting point, then you can clone this repository and modify it, then create your own application and deploy it. So I mean, this is the a starter, or this is the short way that you can start the deploying application in the Azure through the Azure DevOps starter, because it creates everything for you and you don't worry for uh, struggling creating the deployment packages. And later on, if you wanted to extend your application also, so here is the ARM template. You can once you clone the application, you can modify the ARM template. You can read through the documentation of Azure, that the resources you want to configure more, and then you save and deploy your application. So this is how you can create an application. This very simple and easy, and it saves your time for creating all those resources, putting it up together, creating deployment package. So DevOps starter will create all of them for you. So you just need to follow through the steps, and then once it's completed, you can clone your codes and modify it according to your requirements, creating your own application. And yeah, thank you so much.